started writing the first album. Actually, shout out to Radio X. We were listening to you guys constantly.
All right, it's Wednesday night. You're listening to the Radio X Evening Show. My name's George Godfrey, and I'm very excited to say, joining me on the show now, we've got Connor from Nothing But Thieves. How are you doing, mate?
I'm very well. How are you, George?
I'm really well. Thanks so much for coming on. How's your day been? How have you been up to much today, like in this weird sort of time we're living through?
Today, actually, it's been pretty chill today. What did I do? I went to the gym and I wrote a little bit. Pretty basic day. Pretty dreary outside, so
fair dues. Have you found that you've been writing new music all through lockdown? Like some people have found it like a really sort of not inspiring, but a good time to be productive, I guess. Yeah,
totally. I think especially the first part, I think I'm quite naturally introverted. So I spent a lot of time, the first 6 months by myself, and it was a really good time for reflection. And obviously reflection comes writing. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I didn't find it difficult at all, which I know that probably sounds selfish, but the reality, that was the truth. And then I feel the last month, I'd say, as you know, not that you fall out of ideas a little bit, but you just you slow down. You don't want to get burnt out. I felt now a bit angsty. I'm like, ooh, I want to find something else to do. You know?
Yeah, I do think there's going to be like a really interesting wave of new music, I guess, in 2021, where it's going to be all these different kind of reactions to what this has been like for people.
Totally.
Well, let's have a little chat about your music that you've got out now, because that's important. Our record of the week, it is your latest single, Real Love Song. I don't want to pry too much into the meaning and the story of it and everything, but am I right in saying this isn't necessarily your traditional love song?
Yeah, it's quite funny. We were in Malaysia for the first time back when we could tour. And this Malaysian interviewer just said, "Oh, you don't have enough love songs," because the culture out in Malaysia and a lot of those Asian countries are love songs and ballads and this and that. And I remember we looked at each other and we were like, we have a few, but I guess it's because not that we try and avoid it, but everyone writes about that generic love song idea. And I think this song was supposed to be about the underbelly of it, you know, the kind of guttural, ugly side, the unrequited side that not a lot of people sing about. And we this was really late in the process. We pretty much had the album. We went to a little Airbnb in a village called East Grinstead.
Okay, nice.
And it was the three of us, Domjo and myself, and we wrote this song. It was one of those times that the melody and the lyric and the music really worked very symbiotically. You know, it was one of those easy songs to write for us, because that doesn't happen all the time. Sometimes you can spend weeks and weeks on it, you know. And
sometimes when they do fall into place like that, it's just magic. That's the best one.
Yeah, totally.
Well, listen, let's hear it. It's our record of the week, Nothing But Thieves on Radio X now. This is Real Love Song. So that's Nothing But Thieves, Real Love Song on the Radio X Evening Show. Connor's joining me tonight, and mate, what a chorus on that. I mean, the power, there's that edge in the vocals. It is an absolute belter, mate.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
And it's, of course, our next taste of the upcoming album, which we will talk about, Moral Panic. But I did want to ask, because we were talking a little bit about Nothing But Thieves, not necessarily having had a lot of love songs, but I did want to ask, are you a fan of like the classic love song, your Marvin Gaye's, your Whitney Houston's, your Aerosmith's?
Yeah, I guess so. Classic is, interesting terminology. But I think if I had like an ultimate love song, maybe Joni Mitchell, Both Sides Now.
Nice, yeah.
That reflective version where she looks back on it. And I like that there's two versions of it. Her when she's young, with that kind of youthfulness and that, the kind of the want for it. And then the second version when she's older, and she's looking back on those regrets. And that's why I think that song for me is like the ultimate love song. But yeah, I'd love a classic love song, definitely.
Yeah, I did want to use the word classic because I think cheesy is sometimes the wrong way to go with it.
But yeah, for sure.
Well, let's have a little chat about the album then. Moral Panic, it is out on the 23rd of October. You've got this, Is Everybody Going Crazy? It's shaping up nicely. And I think there's a lot of people out there that do want to know maybe just like a bit more of a gossip behind the album. Are there any surprises on there that we can expect?
Yeah, I mean, in true Nothing But Thieves fashion, we actually can't physically write the same song twice. It's become a good thing and a burden, but it's definitely a good thing. When we first started started writing the first album. Actually, shout out to Radio X. We were listening to you guys constantly, like in the first sort of. Like I was driving to Dom's house, and every day I'd listen to you guys. So it was very influential. But yeah, it was great. But yeah, we didn't really know what we were doing in a way. We were very young. We were just kind of, having a go at who we were as songwriters, and we were the three of us who write, Dom, Joe, and myself, very musical tastes are very varied, and it somewhat works and comes in this melting pot. But the first album was just such an experiment that it led us. I think I'd like to say that we've now got the creative leeway to do what we want. We've had the second album out, Broken Machine, and again we kind of pushed our musical boundaries, so to speak, as much as we could. And then on this record, it's probably been quite funny where it's at points so expansive that we've had to kind of rein it in when we can. In a good way, though. There's the actual title track, Moral Panic, is best described as a pessimistic Simon and Garfunkel song.
I like that. I like the sound of that.
This kind of upbeat, dark, melancholic rock dance song. I don't even know, but it's an experimental album again. But it's just like I said, we get bored writing the same song. We get bored listening to bands that write the same song, and I kind of feel like we're weirdly like a project, rather than strict band. We do what we want, and I like that.
Well, it's interesting you say that you can't write the same song twice. And I wanted to ask, how do you remedy that then? Is it through using different gear, or is it going to different spaces to write, different studios?
Yeah, I mean, Dom in the band is quite a prolific producer, to be honest. He's amazing. So it's constantly changing, evolving, and he's quite obsessed to the point where he just spends every penny he earns on a new bit of gear, and so our sound is always evolving. And I think as writers as well, we never really wanted to pigeonhole ourselves or ever limit ourselves to what we could create. And I feel like, even myself individually, I feel like I really wanted to study other forms of writing, from pop and hip hop, R&B, even classical composing, to just really finite my skills. And I think that's made this third album even better in terms of the songwriting. I'd like to think. I don't know. I could be totally wrong.
I mean, I definitely agree. Like, I find that when I speak to musicians, a lot of them are influenced by the equipment that they've got at their disposal, I guess. So it can go that way.
Yeah, sometimes that's quite the beauty of it. I don't have much equipment here at all. So if I come up with an idea to present or just for general for songwriting, it's definitely limited to what I have, but that can keep it more about the song. But I do think when we write as a band, it's such a big part of it is finding new sounds. So I think that's just inherently more interesting to the ear. It's something you've never heard before,
I mean, I can see it there. You've got your Bon Iver print in the background. I mean, is there ever going to be the day where Nothing But Thieves take themselves to a cabin in the woods, maybe, and really limit what they've got?
Yeah, I mean, we always tuck ourselves away in some Airbnb in England before we finished the album. So I said we were in the East Grinstead. That was nice. Yeah. We got a real love song out of it, and I like that song. Yeah, but yeah, we do that most years. Yeah.
Well, it's a weird time for releasing music with obviously everything that's going on with COVID, but I feel like it's a time where people have sort of needed it. They're really, really hungry to hear new music from their favourite artists. And I did want to ask, the album's out in October, but have you got anything else up your sleeves for around the release or afterwards, maybe?
Yeah. God, I'm always getting in trouble with giving stuff away. But
or what you can say.
We've got something in like a week or two, and then something in 4 weeks. Right. So yeah, there's always stuff coming out. I think probably because of this time, we're very conscious of the fact that we can't be out there playing any songs that were released, or even like trickling out new songs, but that live. We can't do any of that. So it's just all about creating as much content as we can. So yeah, there's more stuff coming that's brand new within the next month. A couple of things. So we'll keep it to that because I will be in trouble.
Watch this space then. I mean, you said that you can't obviously go out and play these things live, but one thing that I have sort of enjoyed seeing through lockdown, I guess, is where bands have taken it into their own hands and they've been playing sessions at home. And you actually did one of the Radio X phone covers, and you did this brilliant version of Radiohead Creep. So, I mean, first off, well done on that, because that's not an easy song.
Thanks, man. I was very conscious of the neighbours.
Yeah, well, there's the ending of the video where it's like, sorry. But I did want to ask, what made you pick that song? Are Radiohead a big band for you? Are they a big influence?
I picked that song because it's something that we said as a band. It's like, if we're ever going to do a Radiohead song, let's just keep it simple and do Creep. But Radiohead is like my gospel. That's my version of a religion. It's just, I'm absolutely obsessed in every manner. So Radiohead has influenced, myself, since we were very, very young. And what can I say? I could talk about it for hours, but yeah.
Well, it is sort of a topic that divides fans, but which is your favourite album?
Me? Wow. I mean, if I have to live with one for the rest of my life, probably In Rainbows.
Yeah.
Just because it does something to me, for me, that, I don't know, maybe it was a time and place it came into my life, but it just, I couldn't live without that record.
No, I feel the same way.
Maybe that's because I have rinsed OK Computer to its dying death. I've listened to it, I think, every day for a year at the age of 14 or something. And so it's hard to listen to now. I actually listened to it today, weirdly enough. But yeah, I think In Rainbows, just because of, that's kind of my almost adult discovery. I heard Jigsaw Falling Into Place in a Polish bar. We were 18. And I hadn't discovered that album yet. And I just blew me away. And then Weird Fish is now my favourite song of all time.
I think it's definitely one of those ones, though. It depends when the band come into your life. Because In Rainbows was the same for me. That was my gateway into Radiohead. And then I worked my way backwards. So maybe it's an age thing.
My gateway, weirdly, was Pablo Honey. The first song I ever learnt on guitar was Thinking About You.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's just totally random tune. But it got me in that way. So I didn't even hear Creep or You or anything like that until after Thinking About You. But yeah.
Fair. Well, we've been doing this thing on the show, Connor, where we've been talking about the best gig memorabilia that we've held on to over the years. It's kind of like a little opportunity for people to boast. And I was going to ask if there's a band that you've ever really fanboyed over, but I think we can say it's probably Radiohead. So, for example, we had Andy from Doves on the other week. He's got a pair of Mike Joyce's sticks from an early Smiths gig. We had Simon from Biffy. He's got a pair of sticks from when he saw Tool. We had Biba Doobie last week, actually. And hers was the other way around. It was a fan throwing a bra on stage at one of her shows, which she then kept hold of for the rest of the tour. So I did want to ask, Connor, what's the best bit of gig memorabilia that you've held on to over the years?
That is so... I wish I had something, but I've met Simon Neill a few times. We're loose friends, and he gave me the cheek once, so I never washed after that. I still so that's on my face somewhere. No,
I mean, you've got Simon Neill's DNA then, technically.
Yeah, I actually do, yeah. I am cloning him as we speak. But just trying to think of anything else, really. But any gig memorabilia? No, I can't think of anything that I've actually had from a person's gig. Oh, actually, I've got a funny one. I recorded the first album. I wouldn't say I'm a fan in the slightest, but, I wouldn't say a bad word against him. But Dappy from N-Dubs left his Nike Air Forces at
wow. That's a good claim. Yeah, I just
nicked them. And actually, I did tweet him saying thanks, and he was that cool.
Are they the right size?
Yeah, they're very tight. He's quite. I mean, I'm a small bloke, but he's very small.
Well, I think that one could take the top of the leaderboard for now. Connor, thanks so much for talking to us today. It was, of course, our record of the week, Real Love Song. It's out now. Go and stream it. Go and enjoy it. And don't forget, the new album, Moral Panic, is out on the 23rd of October.
Cheers, man.
Radio